to this essay, has gacha games becomes more tribalistic due to popularity? Now that's a very important question, right? I started gacha back in 2016 with Azur Lane, and I thought the environment was just much more simple back then. Okay? People just talk about the game, their favorite characters, they look at the hentai artwork, and it felt very contained without people purposely trying to trash talk other games or cook up drama. Wow, cook up drama. Okay. Then 2020 came, and Genshin just put gacha games on the map, and everyone, especially Zoomers, just flood the entire scene and started to play gacha games. Zoomers. Okay? Nowadays, you have gacha games rivaling AAA in popularity. Revenue that makes EA drool. Millions of fans playing their game every day. Community trying to attack each other because their game is superior. Shipping wars, fandom wars, all sorts of drama. Wow. You even have people that will throw a tantrum at you for even mentioning a specific game, with some even going as far to start using code words to represent specific games. Like WTF is this shit. Okay. This reminded me of the old Call of Duty vs Battlefield wars back in the days, which makes me think gacha games might just be mainstream now, which cause all this chaos. I'm assuming these people are Zoomers because I cannot fathom a grown-ass adult man rushing online after work to get angry at some random dude who said, "I like X game." Damn. Do you guys think these are kids? What war is there? There's war every day, right? Yeah, there's war every single day. But this happens regardless though. I don't think it's specific to gacha games, although it is very loud on Twitter, on x.com, right? It does get pretty loud, alright? Relatively loud. Actually, it's not unique. To be fair, it's not unique to Twitter, right? If you look at, for example, the CN side of things, you get the, for example, the NTR. NTR, Girls Frontline Drama, they send the truck protest, they send the truck here, send the truck there. For example, in Korea, they have this hand gesture drama, alright? Which is also something that I do think that gacha games, do have all of these weird issues for sure. Surely not grown-ass adults. I'm sure there are some grown-ass adults, there are some kids. There's a mixture of both, right? And there's people that's somewhere in between. Definitely, all of it comes together. Genshin tribalism is the biggest since it's the most popular, but I feel rivalry between Arknights and Azur Lane was still a thing back then. Rivalry between Arknights and Azur Lane. Was there such a thing? Because these two are by same Yoastar, right? They are both for the same publisher. So I'm guessing there is some, but not too many, especially in CN due to the history between the companies and female versus male player base, though granted Arknights only arrived in 2019. Before that, there was FGO and Grand Blue Fantasy rivalry. Fandom rivalry has always been a thing, really. And even earlier than that, they are OGs of Treasure Cruise and Dokkan. Wow. One Piece, Treasure Cruise, and Dragon Ball Dokkan. Okay. How can you have rivalry between games that are very different? I think it's mostly the revenue, right? Yeah, mostly just the revenue. You look at the revenue and then you try to have rivalry between it. During the time there was a large player base, Kankole versus Azur Lane tribalism can get really toxic at time. I don't play Azur Lane, but I appreciate the fan art, so I take no part in it, but some people can get defensive real quick. That continues with Arknights and Genshin Impact now. Literally any unrelated media has Arknights versus Genshin comments. This is annoying as hell. Arknights versus Genshin. Very interesting. The majority of both player bases don't care. They are drastically different games anyways. Gonna say gacha game drama usually centers on the CN player base. Never seen a bigger group that desperately needs to touch grass. I guess the CN it's pretty wild. Is Kankole still alive? I have no idea, man. Essay? Open world action game versus turn-based is what Hoyo folks do. I mean, that's between Genshin and Honkai Star Rail. For sure, it does happen between those two as well. Definitely is a thing. It's more of a one-sided thing on the Arknights versus Genshin thing. Most Genshin players have never seen anything about Arknights. Huh. Okay. There are some rivalry between Arknights and AZ. What is AZ? Azo Promelia. Okay, that one as well. Azulane, I'm sure there are some as well. Fandom tribalism happened even before Genshin exists, for sure. FGO could never. It's always been there, just now louder, especially with how big Genshin is. More loud people equals a louder fanbase. Let me tell you that adults are more than capable of behaving like that too. If you want the most blatant example, just look at sports fans. Yeah, that's true. Like, it happens all the time, right? Sports fans as well. I'm pretty sure it happens to them all the time. Never saw football or basketball peeps fighting for their team. We all farts grew up with the whole Nintendo versus Sega stuff after all. Tribalism exists everywhere. I remember Azulane players years ago having an ego over Arknights players and vice versa. There was never a point where this kind of behavior didn't exist, and blaming this on Zoomers is just eye-roll worthy. Minus 18 for this essay. I'm sure they've always existed. Now you will have drama in Honkai Star Rail that actually gets trending on Twitter. You go look at Wuthering Waves, I immediately see people fighting with Genshin. They're literally shipping wars posts that get like 20 likes, 20k likes. It's impossible to not find them because it's the first thing you see. Regarding the Zoomer talk, it was just based on some observations that a lot of these people seem to be young, since they list their age, at least on Twitter and on TikTok. TikTok! Wow. You see more Genshin players attacking other gacha games? I'm sure it happens all the time. It does happen all the time. Pokemon fans are loud. It's more prominent because Star Rail and Genshin are absolute popularity powerhouses, so you are inevitably going to have their discourses imposed on you at some point. Funny, we're essentially doing this right now. It also doesn't help that every single other gacha game community feels the need to compare itself to Genshin, and the Genshin could never meme, which is really tiresome. But yeah, this kind of stuff has always happened. It's just that since the gacha space was smaller, there was a lower chance of you really hearing about it, since it wouldn't even gain enough momentum to appear in your social feeds. True? This is pretty much true. But yeah, I do think that tribalism is a thing that happens everywhere. Pokemon are loud due to the recent Power World. Yeah, and that as well. Tribalism in gacha games, I think the biggest one is probably Genshin and Honkai Star Rail for now. Maybe once Wuthering Waves come out, we'll see that as well. But it used to be Tower of Fantasy and Genshin. But now I don't hear anything about Tower anymore, sadly.